It's Italian sausage cooked with peppers and onions and red wine and cooked down, and then on the side I'm doing some top round that gets seasoned and grilled. So then I thin slice the meat, cut up the sausage, peppers and onions, and then I do these pickled vegetables on top of it on this big 4-foot loaf. It's going to be out of bounds.
Okay, so we're backstage at South Beach Food Market.
Is that where we are?
I think so.
Oh,
I think so.
because I just thought I had a light crowd. Anyhow, thanks for coming.
But the good thing is it's good for crowd giveaways. You save the companies
All
money.
right.
Absolutely.
Who wants a half bag of chips? Hey, there's a character. Who's your best person? It's a good buddy of mine didn't handle the night last night. When you come to South Beach, you better keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times. And that man didn't.
He didn't? No, what happened?
He overserved himself.
Did you? Did you go out for a wee few drink booze at the Victor?
I don't know where he went.
Did you? Yeah, he's having the hair of the
He
dog.
hit the red line.
Good for him.
Okay.
Okay, so tell us, when was it you first thought about, I'm going to be a chef? What age?
10 years old.
He was 10 years old.
First time I started cooking. First time I started cooking, and I realized, wait a second. I get to make the decision what we're going to have.
Okay.
I get to make it, and I don't have to do the dishes. Oh, that's my job.
Do you remember your first dish? What really said?
Yeah. First dish, steak and pasta, with tomato sauce. And I remember buying the steak. I was 10. We had a little town that I lived in. You could go to the meat market and actually buy the steak. So I buy the steak. I ride my bike home, and all I remember when my mom would serve the pasta is that the sauce had it on there. So I put the pasta and the water and the sauce and everything in the same pot and just cooked it down. And I think I cooked it until the pasta was just mush. And I remember serving it all on a plate. It was the day my dad said, might be the best steak I've ever had. And I said, wow. So I get to make the decision. I get to eat what I cook, and I don't have to do the dishes. I'm going to make people happy. This job's for me.
I'm going to mention some words and...
Oh boy, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yes, very tasty.
A duck.
Tastes like chicken.
Yes.
I want you to, first food for what comes to mind. You see a lot of psychologists do this, and it's good.
Okay.
Spring.
Dirty socks.
With holes in. You've been on the road for 2 weeks.
Exactly. I just convert to flip-flops. Okay,
Yeah.
what was the question? Spring?
What
Lamb.
food? Lamb. How would you do that, lamb?
I think lamb grilled is my particular way, in young lamb, and I like rosemary with it, and I like real subtle flavors to it. I like it, what, actually a little bit of rosemary, just a little bit of herb on the meat itself, and I like to serve an accompaniment to it. And one of my favorite is a mint pesto.
Mint pesto.
Yeah.
Very
so making
good.
a pesto,
Yeah.
But adding just a touch of mint to it, so you get some of that nice. Mint, they go together so well. That's probably one of my favorites.
Mint and lamb get along. They do get along
they do.
well. They're almost like Sonny and Cher.
Well, exactly, but I don't know which one would be the lamb.
Very good. Good question.
Thank
we
you
can think about that. We'll come back to that one.
You think about that.
I will. Soul food.
Collard greens.
Collard greens.
Yeah. It's funny because I think atypically most people would say something like fried chicken or chicken fried steak or something like that, but I think one of the things I'm really, doing my show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, which is on Monday on Food Network, in case you forgot that. One of the things I found is that collard greens, a little ham hock in there, are just cooked the right way, are just fantastic. And
do you have the chili vinegar as well?
Yeah. Oh, you know.
Yeah.
You don't look like a man that's had a lot of them. I mean, did you run here?
Well, I'm actually. I've took one of them pills what Eddie Murphy did in his movie.
Uh-huh.
What was that Eddie Murphy movie where he took
Eddie Murphy. I like that.
I shouldn't talk.
Raleigh.
I'm going to get myself in trouble if I talk here.
I like the accent though.
Oh, stop it, you rascal. Childhood.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Hands down. That was it. That's still it. People say, before you take the big dirt nap, what do you want to eat? My last thing would be, without question, spaghetti and meatballs.
Family recipe. When you think back, go back into your family, whether it's granny or anybody, what was the recipe?
Grandparents didn't have a lot of contact with my grandparents. Most of them passed away before I was born, or when I was really young. I think probably the number one family, ironically enough, granola. My mom used to make granola when I was a kid.
Granola, and that's not a common
We weren't allowed to have we weren't allowed to have sweet cereals, like sugary cereals. So granola was what my mom would make, and she made it great. She had nuts and raisins and the whole thing. And I don't know, for some reason it's granola.
Winter.
I have to say short ribs. I have to say braised short ribs. I think that's, for some reason, cipollini onions and braised short ribs with some nice fresh cracked pepper and some creamy polenta with a little red bell pepper in it. Oh, my mouth just starts to water.
I like it a lot. Cozy.
Grits and ham.
Grits and ham.
It's the strangest thing. My mom was raised in North Carolina, and so she grew up eating grits. And so as a kid living in California, that was the one thing that's the only thing I eat for breakfast. I mean, like, cereal or fruit and bagel and stuff like that. But when it comes to what I want for breakfast, I don't want scrambled eggs, I don't want potatoes, I don't want anything. Grits and ham with red-eye gravy that you make from the fat in the pan of cooking the ham, and then you pour in coffee. Oh, that's it. To me, big bowl of grits and ham, watching Sunday football. I'm out on the couch.
The economy's taken an awry. It's gone awry. Any frugal tips for people? On changing.
Without question. I mean, here's the ones that kill me. Okay, tomato sauce, and I mean tomato sauce, what most people call marinara, but it's tomato sauce. It's fortified with some onions and garlic and fresh herbs, and make it yourself. It's so easy. I make 5 gallons at a time. I freeze it in Ziploc bags in portions for one feeding of the family. Stack them up in the freezer so they're nice and thin. Just pull it off, put it in some water, let it thaw out, heat it up. Tomato sauce good to go. Versus $4.95 for a bottle of jarred processed tomato sauce. One of my number one things I should do. And chili, same thing.
Chili, same thing. What would you say, Guy? I want you to ponder this one. What have you learned most about yourself in life?
What have I learned the most about myself in life?
Yeah, up to now, at this age now, reflecting on back.
How fortunate I am. Yeah. Just how blessed. What great parents I have. I say it just becomes such a common theme for me is if I can be half the parent to my children, my parents have been to me, I will find my life, I will find to be a complete success. That's, all I wanted to be was a dad and a restaurant dude. That's all I've ever wanted to be. And this opportunity to do TV has been fantastic. But see you later, take care. The upbringing and the traits and the tools and the things that I have, and what was instilled upon me by my mom and dad, I think are the true element to my success. I think that they're the one. It's what's really laid the foundation for me.
So what's up and coming? What can we look forward to?
What can we look forward to? Hi.
So the bread, there's nowhere on the stage not big enough to do the board and everything. So the table that has the tequila, that sells any tequila, we're gonna put that out front. Are you cool with that? Or sit out there, or do you want it to be once you assemble it? So that means you're like, why don't we assemble it? We can set it across the cooktop, and then we can have the boys carry the whole table up.
There you go.
Does that work?
But I want the bottles of tequila to come out like this. I don't want them to be on a tray and all that.
No, they're up there. Lori's holding, right? So I'm going to give her 2 bottles, and then I'll grab 2 bottles, and because I'm going to already be up there, unless you want me to hold with her.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
So back to finish
Hi.
up, just mentioning your show, the names of your shows.
Yes.
And say book, and we'll.
Happy days.
Magical.
So what books have you got, and what are we looking forward to?
Well, we just did the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives first edition book, and it did okay. I think it's like at number 8 right now, New York Times bestseller for like 16 weeks or something.
Jimmy Cricket. Is he being humble
It was
here?
only number 1.
Yeah.
Was it?
No, it hit number 2. Number 2 is the highest we got because Twilight.
Really?
Oh, because it's Twilight.
But no, it's been awesome. I've been so blessed. I mean, the opportunities have been fantastic. I have a great fan base. I mean, the people that like my shows, I can't thank them enough for what they're doing for me. I'm having a blast, And as soon as people say, well, how long will you do it? I said, I'll keep doing it until it's not fun.
Could you say, I'm Guy Fieri, and you're watching Relish TV?
I'm Guy Fieri, and you're watching Relish TV. Don't turn the channel.